Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. Today we're going deep on the ethics of generative AI, a topic that you specifically requested.
It's a fascinating and rapidly evolving field.
Yeah, and honestly, with all the buzz around AI these days, it's easy to get lost in the hype.
It really is.
But it's important to take a step back and think about the bigger picture, the ethical implications of this powerful technology.
Absolutely.
So, we've all seen those crazy realistic images of people who don't even exist.
Right.
How does AI even do that? It feels like magic.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? One of the key techniques is using something called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short.
Jans.
Yeah, imagine two AIs dueling it out.
Like an AI art competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One AI is trying to create realistic images. The other is acting as a judge, trying to spot the fakes.
Oh, I see.
They learn from each other, constantly improving until the generated images are almost indistinguishable from real photos.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And it's not just images, right? You mentioned that AI is also being used for things like drafting legal documents.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Are we really at the point where AI can replace lawyers?
Well, I wouldn't say replace just yet, but definitely augment. It can be a powerful tool to help lawyers be more efficient and effective.
That makes sense.
A different type of AI architecture called a transformer is often used for tasks involving language,
Okay.
like ChatGPT, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Oh, yeah. ChatGPT is everywhere these days,
It's really good at understanding and generating human-like text.
which makes it perfect for drafting those legal documents.
Exactly. And for things like writing content, translating languages, and even coding.
So instead of spending hours researching case law, a lawyer could have an AI assistant pull up relevant information in seconds.
Right.
That's incredible. But it also raises a lot of
It
questions.
does.
Like, who's responsible if the AI makes a mistake? Who's liable?
Exactly. That gets right to the heart of the ethical dilemmas we're facing with generative AI.
Okay, so let's dive into that. Where do we even start with ethics in AI?
Well, a good place to start is by looking at some of the classic ethical frameworks that philosophers have been debating for centuries.
Oh, philosophy. Okay, I'm ready.
One of the most well-known is utilitarianism.
Utilitarianism.
It's all about maximizing happiness and well-being for the greatest number of people.
Okay, I think I've heard of that.
So, in the context of AI, a utilitarian might argue that if an AI system can diagnose diseases more accurately than a human doctor, leading to better health outcomes for more people, then it's ethically justifiable to use it.
That makes sense. So the potential benefits to society outweigh any potential risks.
Right.
Okay, but what about the individual? What if someone feels uncomfortable with an AI making decisions about their health?
That's a valid concern, and it brings us to another ethical framework, deontology.
Deontology, okay. What's that all about?
Deontology focuses on rules and duties.
Okay.
It argues that certain actions are inherently right or wrong, regardless of the consequences.
So even if an AI could do something amazing, if it violated someone's privacy or autonomy in the process, a deontologist would say it's wrong.
Exactly. It's about respecting individual rights and following ethical principles, even if it means sacrificing some potential benefits.
That's a really interesting perspective. So we've got the utilitarians focused on the greater good and the deontologists focused on individual rights and duties. Is there another ethical framework we should be thinking about?
Yes. There's also virtue ethics.
Virtue ethics. Okay, fill me in.
This one emphasizes the character of the person, or in this case, the people creating and using the AI.
Interesting.
It asks questions like, are they being honest? Responsible? Are they considering the potential consequences of their actions?
So it's not just about the AI itself being good, but also about the humans behind it being ethical.
Precisely. And all these frameworks provide valuable lenses through which to examine the ethical implications of AI.
They're all important considerations. But even with these frameworks, applying them to AI feels tricky. It's a complex and rapidly evolving field, and there's always something new to consider.
It's true. AI ethics is not a static set of rules. It's an ongoing conversation, a constant process of reflection and adaptation.
So how do we stay ahead of the curve? Are there any initiatives or guidelines in place to help navigate this ethical landscape?
Well, there are several groups and organizations trying to do just that.
Okay, tell me more.
One example is the IEE, a leading professional organization.
I've heard of them.
They've developed a set of principles for ethically aligned design for AI.
So like a roadmap for building AI that's both smart and ethical.
Exactly. These principles emphasize things like transparency, accountability, and fairness in AI development.
So making sure that AI systems are understandable, responsible, and unbiased.
That's the goal. And then there's the European Union, which is working on an AI
At
Act.
AI at.
Yeah, it's a really ambitious attempt to regulate high-risk AI systems.
High risk meaning,
Systems that are used in critical areas, like healthcare, law enforcement, or financial markets, where the potential for harm is high.
that makes sense.
The idea is to classify different AI systems based on their risk level and impose specific requirements for those deemed high risk.
So more oversight, more regulations for AI systems that could have a significant impact on people's lives.
Exactly. And these are just a couple of examples. There are many other initiatives and organizations around the world working to establish ethical guidelines and frameworks for AI.
It sounds like it's a global effort, which is encouraging.
It is, and it's a conversation that's just getting started.
Okay, so we've got these frameworks for thinking about AI ethics, and we've got these initiatives trying to establish some ground rules. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are some of the specific ethical red flags we should be watching out for with generative AI?
There are several key issues that keep coming up.
Okay, let's hear them.
One of the big ones is bias.
Bias.
AI models, including those used in generative AI, learn from the data they are trained on.
Right, massive amounts of data.
And if that data contains biases, the AI can learn and perpetuate those biases.
Oh, I see.
So for instance, if a language model is trained on text that mostly reflects one culture or one set of values, it might have trouble understanding or accurately representing other cultures or viewpoints.
So it could generate text that's culturally insensitive or even offensive.
Exactly. It could also make biased assumptions or associations, like assuming certain professions are more common for one gender than another.
Or perpetuating stereotypes about certain racial or ethnic groups.
Right. These biases can have real-world consequences, especially if they're embedded in AI systems that are used to make decisions about people's lives.
Like hiring decisions, loan applications, or even criminal justice.
Exactly. So addressing bias is a crucial ethical challenge in AI development.
It's a huge issue. And what can we do about it? How do we make sure that AI systems are fair and unbiased?
Well, it's a complex problem, but there are a few key strategies. One is to focus on creating more diverse and representative training data sets.
So making sure the AI is learning from a wider range of perspectives and experiences.
Exactly. For example, if you're developing a facial recognition system, it should be trained on a data set that includes people from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds.
That makes sense. Otherwise, it might be really good at recognizing faces of one race, but terrible at recognizing faces of another race.
Precisely. And that can lead to all sorts of problems, from misidentification to discrimination.
So diverse data is key. Okay, what's another ethical challenge we need to be aware of?
Another big one is transparency.
Or rather, the lack of transparency.
Exactly. Many AI systems, especially those using deep learning, are like black boxes.
Black boxes.
They can see what goes in the data and what comes out, the AI's decision or output.
But we don't understand how the AI got there.
Right. It's hard to understand the reasoning behind the AI's decisions.
That's a bit unnerving. So if an AI makes a mistake, it's hard to figure out why or how to fix it.
Exactly. And that can be a big problem, especially if the AI is being used to make important decisions that impact people's lives.
Like if an AI is used to approve loan applications and it keeps rejecting applications from a certain demographic.
That's right. In that case, we'd want to know why. Is it a bias in the data? Is it a flaw in the algorithm? Is it something else entirely?
We need to be able to understand the AI's decision-making process in order to ensure that it's fair and accountable.
Exactly. And that's why explainability is becoming such a hot topic in AI ethics.
Explainability. So basically making the AI's thinking process visible, less of a mystery.
That's the idea. There are a lot of researchers working on techniques to make AI more transparent and explainable.
That's good to hear. So we've got bias and transparency. What's next on the list of ethical concerns?
Privacy and data security.
Oh yeah, those are big ones, especially in this age of data breaches and online surveillance.
It's a huge concern, especially with generative AI. These models require massive amounts of data to be trained.
And that data often includes personal information.
It can. Think about all the data that goes into training a language model like ChatGPT. Text messages, emails, social media posts, articles, books.
That's a lot of data and a lot of potential for privacy violations.
Exactly. There's always a risk that this data could be exposed, either accidentally or intentionally.
So someone could potentially use AI to reconstruct sensitive information about individuals from the data that was used to train the model.
It's possible, and that's why protecting privacy is so crucial. There are various techniques being developed to try to mitigate this risk, things like anonymization and differential privacy.
Anonymization, so stripping the data of any personally identifiable information before using it to train the AI.
Exactly. And differential privacy is a more sophisticated approach that adds noise to the data in a way that protects privacy without compromising the AI's ability to learn.
Okay, so it's like adding a layer of protection to the data to make it harder to identify individuals.
Right. And of course, robust cybersecurity measures are crucial as well. Things like encryption and secure storage to
Yeah.
prevent unauthorized access to the data.
So it's a multi-layered approach, both in terms of the technology and the policies and procedures that are in place to protect data.
Exactly. It's a complex challenge, but it's one that we need to take seriously if we want to build trust in AI systems.
Okay, so we've covered bias, transparency, and privacy. What else?
This one might be the biggest of them all: autonomy and control.
Autonomy and control. Okay, I'm intrigued.
As AI systems become more sophisticated, we need to be very careful about how much autonomy we give them.
So how much freedom to make their own decisions?
Exactly. There's always a risk that an AI could start making decisions that we don't understand or agree with, decisions that could have unintended consequences.
So we could lose control of the technology we've created.
It's a valid concern, and it's something that science fiction writers have been exploring for decades.
Right. Think HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Exactly. While we're not quite at that level of AI yet, it's important to start thinking about these issues now.
So what can we do? How do we make sure that humans remain in control of AI?
One key strategy is to focus on human-in-the-loop systems.
Human in the loop, meaning,
Systems where humans are still involved in the decision-making process, even if the AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
so the AI might provide recommendations or analysis, but ultimately a human has the final say.
Exactly. And we also need to be thinking about ethical decision-making frameworks for AI.
Ethical decision-making for AI, how does that work?
It's about designing AI systems that are aligned with our values and ethical principles.
So building in safeguards to make sure that the AI doesn't stray from our moral compass.
Right. It's a complex challenge, but it's one that we need to be working on if we want to ensure that AI is used for good.
Okay, so we've talked about bias, transparency, privacy, and control. Is there anything else we need to consider when it comes to the ethics of generative AI?
Yes, there's one more big one: accountability and responsibility.
Accountability and responsibility, okay. Elaborate.
If something goes wrong with an AI system, who's to blame?
That's a really good question and a tough one to answer.
It is. Is it the developer who created the AI? The company that deployed it? The user who interacted with it?
Or maybe even the AI itself.
There's a philosophical question that we'll have to grapple with as AI becomes more sophisticated.
Right now, I guess it's more likely to be one of the humans involved.
Probably, but figuring out where the responsibility lies can be tricky.
Especially if the AI is making decisions that are hard for humans to understand or predict.
Exactly. And this gets into some really complex legal and ethical territory.
Like, do we need new laws specifically for AI?
It's possible. We may need to adapt existing laws or create new ones to deal with the unique challenges posed by AI.
And this is all happening now, right? It's not some distant future scenario.
Right. These are issues we need to address today.
Okay, that's a lot to process. It seems like every aspect of generative AI comes with its own set of ethical dilemmas. But this isn't just some abstract philosophical debate, right? This technology is already having a real-world impact.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations now.
So let's shift gears and talk about that real-world impact. How is AI already changing the world, and what does that mean for all of us?
Well, that's a great place to start, and a whole other can of worms.
I know, but we've got to open that can sometime.
We do indeed.
So let's do it.
All right, let's dive in.
What's the biggest impact you're seeing right now?
One of the most significant impacts is on the workforce.
Okay, the whole robots are taking our jobs scenario. I think everyone's heard that one.
Yeah, it's a common concern. And to be fair, it's not entirely unfounded,
Right. AI is already automating tasks that were previously done by humans.
especially in fields like manufacturing and customer service.
So think robots on assembly lines and chatbots answering our questions online.
Exactly. And those trends are only going to accelerate as AI gets more sophisticated.
That's a little unnerving. Does this mean mass unemployment is inevitable?
Not necessarily. It's more complex than that.
Okay, how so?
While some jobs will inevitably be displaced by AI, new jobs will also be created.
Okay, so it's not just about jobs disappearing, it's about a shift in the types of jobs that are available.
Exactly. and many existing jobs will evolve to incorporate AI in new ways.
So it's not about humans versus robots. It's about humans and robots working together.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to leverage AI's capabilities while still valuing human skills and expertise.
So what does this mean for the average worker? What do we need to do to prepare for this AI-powered future?
Well, one key is adaptability.
Adaptability.
The workforce of the future will need to be flexible, willing to learn new skills, and comfortable working alongside AI.
So it's not just about what you know, but also about your ability to adapt and evolve.
Exactly. And it's not just about technical skills. We also need to focus on developing uniquely human skills like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
Those are the skills that are harder for AI to replicate.
Like precisely. And those skills will be even more valuable in an AI-powered world.
Okay, that makes sense. So the future of work is going to look different, but it's not necessarily a bleak picture.
Right. There will be challenges, but also opportunities.
And it's up to us to prepare ourselves and future generations for this new landscape.
Exactly. Education and training will be crucial.
Making sure that people have the skills they need to thrive in this new world of work.
Precisely. And it's not just about technical skills. We also need to cultivate those human skills that will be essential in an AI-powered future.
Creativity, empathy, critical thinking, those are the skills that will set us apart from the machines.
Absolutely. Those are the skills that will make us valuable collaborators with AI.
So the message is, don't be afraid of AI, embrace the possibilities, but also be prepared to adapt and evolve.
Exactly. The future is what we make it.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the impact of AI on society as a whole. We've touched on the workforce, but it feels like AI is seeping into every aspect of our lives, from the way we consume information to the way we create art.
Oh, absolutely. AI is already having a profound impact on our culture and society, and that impact is only going to grow in the coming years.
Let's start with the way we consume information. AI is already shaping what we see and hear online, right?
Definitely. Think about social media algorithms. They determine what posts you see in your feed, what ads you're shown, even who you're recommended to connect with.
So AI is already curating our online experience, deciding what information we're exposed to.
Right. And while this can be helpful in some ways, like filtering out spam or showing us content we're likely to be interested in.
It can also create filter bubbles where we're only exposed to information that confirms our existing beliefs.
Exactly. And that can be problematic, as it can lead to polarization and make it harder to have productive conversations across different viewpoints.
So we need to be aware of how AI is shaping our information landscape and make sure that we're getting a diverse range of perspectives.
Absolutely. And it's not just social media. AI is also being used in newsrooms to generate articles, write headlines, and even select which stories to cover.
So AI is playing a role in shaping the news we read and the narratives we're exposed to.
Right. And this raises a lot of important questions about bias, accountability, and the future of journalism.
It's definitely something we need to be thinking about. Now, what about the impact of AI on creativity?
That's another fascinating area. AI is already being used to create art, music, and even literature.
Right. I've seen some incredible examples of AI-generated paintings and musical compositions. It's mind-blowing.
It really is. And it's raising some really interesting questions about what it means to be creative.
Like, if an AI can create a beautiful painting or a catchy song, does that mean it's truly creative?
That's a question philosophers are still debating. And there's no easy answer.
But it's a conversation worth having, right? Because
Yeah.
AI is pushing the boundaries of what we consider to be art and creativity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's forcing us to re-examine our own assumptions about these concepts.
So AI is both a challenge and an opportunity in the creative realm.
Exactly. It's a tool that can be used to enhance human creativity, to explore new possibilities, and even to create entirely new forms of art.
It's all very exciting, but also a little bit daunting. It feels like AI is changing everything, and it's hard to keep up.
I hear you. It's a lot to process.
But ultimately, it's up to us, right? We get to decide how we use this technology, how we integrate it into our lives and our society.
You got it.
Hmm.
We have the power to shape the future of AI.
So let's talk about that. What can we do to make sure that AI is used for good, that it benefits all of humanity, not just a select few?
That's the million-dollar question. And the answer is multifaceted. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but there are several key areas we need to focus on.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are the essential steps to making AI ethical?
One crucial area is research.
Research.
Yes, we need to continue to invest in research that explores the ethical implications of AI.
So not just focusing on making AI smarter, but also on making it more ethical.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about the social, cultural, and ethical implications of AI from the very beginning, not just as an afterthought.
That makes sense. So more research on AI ethics. What else?
Education is crucial as well.
Education, okay.
We need to make sure that people understand how AI works, how it's being used, and what the potential risks and benefits are.
So increasing public awareness about AI and its implications.
Exactly. And it's not just about educating the general public. We also need to make sure that developers, policymakers, and business leaders are equipped to make ethical decisions about AI.
So building ethical considerations into the entire AI ecosystem, from the people who create it to the people who use it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And of course, we need to be thinking about policy and regulation.
Ah, yes, the rules of the road for AI.
Exactly. As AI becomes more powerful and pervasive, we need to make sure that there are appropriate safeguards in place to prevent harm.
So things like laws about data privacy, algorithmic transparency, and accountability for AI-related harms.
Exactly. And it's a tricky area because technology is always evolving faster than the law can keep up.
That's true. It's a constant challenge.
But we need to start somewhere, and we need to be willing to adapt and evolve our policies as AI continues to advance.
Okay, so research, education, policy, those are all important pieces of the puzzle. But it feels like there's a bigger question here, a more fundamental one.
Look at.
Can we really create AI that's truly ethical? Can we build machines that share our values and act in ways that are aligned with our moral compass?
That's the ultimate question, and it's one that we'll be grappling with for many years to come.
It's a question that goes beyond just technology. It touches on philosophy, ethics, and even our understanding of what it means to be human.
It does. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's a simple answer, but I do believe that ethical AI is possible if we're willing to put in the effort.
So it's a goal worth striving for.
Absolutely. And it's a goal that will require collaboration, creativity, and a willingness to challenge our assumptions about what's possible.
Well, I'm up for the challenge, and I'm sure our listeners are too.
Yeah.
This has been a fascinating conversation so far, and I can't wait to dive deeper into the next chapter of AI ethics.
Me either. There's so much more to explore.
Welcome back. We just finished talking about some pretty big ideas, like how AI is changing the way we work, and even what it means to be creative.
And we touched on the importance of being proactive and thoughtful, but how we integrate AI into our lives.
Right, like figuring out how to use AI for good, making sure it benefits everyone, and remembering those basic human rights and values we talked about.
Exactly. Now, I know we talked about some potential downsides of AI, like its impact on jobs. But there's a flip side to this coin. AI isn't just about replacing human jobs. It's also about creating new opportunities.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom on the job front. What kind of opportunities are we talking about?
Well, think about it. As AI takes over repetitive or dangerous tasks, it frees up humans to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
So jobs that require a more human touch.
Exactly. We're already seeing this in fields like healthcare, where AI is assisting doctors with diagnostics and treatments, allowing them to spend more time with their patients.
That makes sense. It's like having an AI assistant that handles the routine tasks so doctors can focus on the human aspects of care.
Precisely. And it's not just healthcare. We're seeing this trend across various industries. For example, in marketing, AI can analyze data and identify trends, but ultimately it's humans who craft the creative campaigns that connect with audiences.
So AI is more of a tool that enhances human capabilities rather than a replacement for human workers.
Exactly. It's about collaboration and augmentation. And this collaboration requires a new set of skills. We need people who can understand and work with AI, who can analyze data, develop algorithms, and ensure these systems are used ethically.
So a whole new set of job opportunities is opening up around AI development and management. That's actually pretty exciting.
It is. And it's not just about technical skills. We also need people who can bridge the gap between technology and humanity, who can communicate the complexities of AI to a wider audience, and who can advocate for ethical and responsible AI use.
So think ethicists, policymakers, artists, communicators, a whole new ecosystem emerging around AI. That's really interesting. But shifting gears a bit, I'm curious about those ethical AI initiatives we touched on earlier. You mentioned the IE's Ethically Aligned Design and the EU's AI Act. What are those all about?
These initiatives represent a growing recognition that we need to establish some ground rules for AI. The IE's ethically aligned design focuses on ensuring that AI systems are aligned with human values and ethical principles.
So it's like a set of guidelines for building AI that's not just smart, but also morally sound.
Exactly. It emphasizes things like transparency, accountability, and fairness in AI development.
And what about the EU's AI Act? What's their approach?
The EU's AI Act is more about regulation. It aims to classify different AI systems based on their risk level and impose specific requirements for high-risk applications like those used in healthcare or law enforcement.
So higher risk AI applications would face stricter scrutiny and regulations. That makes sense. It seems like there's a lot of activity on the policy front. Are there any other global initiatives or organizations working on AI ethics?
Absolutely. The conversation about AI ethics is happening globally. Organizations like the UN and OECD are actively involved in developing international guidelines for ethical AI development and use.
So it's a global conversation. That's encouraging. But going back to these initiatives, how effective do you think they'll be in shaping the future of AI? I mean, technology moves so fast, it seems like regulations and guidelines are always playing catch up.
That's a valid point. It's a constant challenge to keep up with the rapid pace of AI development. But these initiatives are an important step in the right direction. They provide a framework for discussion, a set of principles to guide AI development, and a mechanism for holding developers and companies accountable.
So it's a good starting point, but we need to be constantly adapting and evolving our approach as AI continues to advance.
Exactly. And it's not just about governments and organizations. It's about all of us being informed and engaged citizens, asking critical questions, demanding transparency, and holding those in power accountable.
That's a powerful message. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely. The choices we make today will determine the kind of AI-powered world we create for ourselves and future generations.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But before we go too far down the rabbit hole of future possibilities, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the impact of AI on creativity.
Right. We talked about AI-generated art, music, and even those virtual influencers who are blurring the lines between reality and simulation.
It's also fascinating and a little bit unsettling. I mean, if AI can create art that's indistinguishable from human-created art, what does that mean for the future of human creativity?
That's a question that artists, critics, and philosophers are all grappling with. Some see AI as a threat to human creativity, a force that will devalue human art. Others see it as a tool, a collaborator, or even a muse.
I'm leaning more towards the tool and collaborator camp. It's like AI can handle the technical aspects, the brushstrokes, or the musical notes, but it's still the human artist who's providing the vision, the inspiration, the emotional depth. What do you think?
I think there's room for both perspectives. It's important to acknowledge the potential disruptions AI might bring to the art world, but also to embrace the possibilities it opens up.
Like, what if AI could help artists break through creative blocks, explore new styles, or even create entirely new forms of art that we haven't even imagined yet?
Exactly. It's about seeing AI as a partner in the creative process, not a replacement for human artists.
That's a great way to look at it. And it speaks to this bigger idea we've been talking about. AI as a tool for human advancement, not a force that will inevitably replace us. But to be honest, it's hard not to feel a little bit anxious about all this. We're talking about a technology that's evolving at an unprecedented pace, a technology that has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways. How do we even begin to wrap our heads around the ethical implications of all this?
It's true. It can feel overwhelming. But I think the key is to focus on the things we can control. We can choose to stay informed, engage in critical discussions, and advocate for ethical AI development and use.
So knowledge is power.
Absolutely. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the challenges and opportunities it presents. And remember, it's not just about the technology itself. It's about us, the humans who are creating and shaping it.
Okay, that's reassuring. It reminds me that we're not just passive bystanders in this technological revolution. We have agency, we have a voice, and we can choose to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Precisely. And that brings us to one of the most crucial questions we need to ask ourselves. What kind of future do we want to create with this technology?
That's a big question, and I think it's one that deserves its own dedicated deep dive.
I agree. And that's exactly what we'll explore in the next part of our conversation. We'll delve into the future of AI, examine the potential risks and opportunities, and discuss what we can do to ensure that AI remains a force for good in the world.
All right, we're back for the final part of our AI ethics deep dive. Last time we talked about AI's impact on jobs and society.
Yeah, it's clear that AI is already shaking things up and forcing us to rethink how we work, create, and even consume information.
Totally. And we touched on those global initiatives trying to set some ethical guidelines, which feels like a step in the right direction.
Definitely. But guidelines are only one piece of the puzzle. We need individuals like you listening right now to be informed and engaged.
Right. We can't just sit back and let the experts figure it all out. But honestly, where do we even start? It feels like a huge and complex issue.
I hear that. It can feel overwhelming. But remember, every journey starts with a single step. One of the most powerful things you can do is stay informed.
Okay, staying informed, that sounds manageable, but there's so much information out there. How do we know what to trust?
You're right, it's a real information overload out there. I'd recommend focusing on reputable organizations like the AI Now Institute or the Future of Life Institute.
Got it. So those are some names to look for.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to explore different perspectives. There are tons of articles, podcasts, even research papers out there.
So basically, diversify my AI news diet.
Exactly. But information is only powerful if we use it. So how do we move beyond just reading and actually make a difference?
That's the big question. What can we actually do?
Well, one of the most impactful things is to simply talk about it. Start conversations about AI ethics with your friends, family, coworkers.
Get people thinking about it, even if they're not tech experts.
Exactly. The more we talk about these issues, the more awareness we raise, and the more likely we are to find solutions that work for everyone.
So start those dinner table debates. What else can we do?
Think about the AI you use every day. Social media, navigation apps, streaming services, they all use AI.
Right, it's everywhere.
So take a moment to think about it. Are those tools respecting your privacy? Are they being used fairly? Are they amplifying existing biases?
So being a conscious consumer, not just blindly using whatever's put in front of me.
Exactly. And if you see something that doesn't seem right, speak up. Contact the company, write a review, start a petition. Your voice matters.
Be an advocate, not just a user.
Right. Another way to make a difference is to support organizations working on ethical AI.
Okay, that makes sense. Any recommendations?
The Algorithmic Justice League is doing great work on mitigating bias in AI systems. The Electronic Frontier Foundation is fighting for digital privacy. And OpenAI is focusing on ensuring that advanced AI benefits all of humanity.
So many different approaches, but all working towards a common goal.
Exactly. Your support, whether it's donating, volunteering, or spreading the word, can help them make a real difference.
It's really encouraging to know that we have some power in all of this, that we're not just along for the ride.
Absolutely.
Ah.
We have a responsibility to shape this technology and make sure it reflects our values.
Okay, feeling empowered. But there's still this nagging question in the back of my mind. Can we really create ethical AI? Can we build machines that are truly aligned with our moral compass?
That's a deep one. And honestly, I don't think there's a simple answer. It's something we'll be figuring out for years to come.
Yeah, it feels like it goes beyond just tech and into philosophy and our understanding of what it means to be human.
It does.
Mm.
But I believe ethical AI is possible. If we put in the effort, if we collaborate, if we challenge our assumptions, we can create AI that benefits us all.
So it's a goal worth fighting for, a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. And that journey requires all of us to participate, to contribute our perspectives, and to hold each other accountable.
That's a great note to end on. To our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI ethics.
Remember, stay informed, have those conversations, be mindful of the AI you use, and support those fighting the good fight. The future of AI is in our hands.
And that's a wrap. Keep exploring and stay curious about the world of AI and the role we all play in shaping its future. Thanks for listening.